Good morning, Fearless fam, and welcome back to Mental Health Monday. Today, I wanted to review a book that I just recently ordered because it just came out, and it is by possibly my favorite author. She is absolutely my favorite author who writes about anxiety because she does so candidly, and she's freaking hilarious and weird AF, you guys. She is super weird, and yeah, I think we'd be friends. So that book is You Are Here by Jenny Lawson. So if you've ever read anything by Jenny Lawson, it's either Let's Pretend This Never Happened or Furiously Happy, which you guys, if you follow me on here, you've definitely heard me talk about both those books multiple times. So as somebody who has a very cynical, sarcastic, somewhat depressive, realistic sense of humor, that's quite a mouthful of words that I just put in there, and someone who has anxiety, me, Jenny Lawson is right up my alley. So I first read Let's Pretend This Never Happened and was freaking in love with the book. I read it super fast. It was at a time in my life where shit was hard. I was in a period of transition. I had just moved to China, which is a country that I had never been to, on a continent that I had never been to. And the first time I went there was when I moved there. So it was a little bit crazy. And when you deal with anxiety and you are dealing with a transition in life, it is very difficult to just do life, just be an adult. So that book helped me a lot to go from basically just bursting out sobbing on the train ride into Nanjing to suddenly laughing on the train ride into Nanjing. You gotta read the book to fully understand. Anyways, this is her third book called You Are Here, and it is very, very different. Let me show you why. First of all, there's a lot of doodles in it. You may have noticed just now. Oh, I just scraped myself right here. I'm gonna sue. This is basically part coloring book, part humor, part inspiration, and a lot of little snippets of wisdom regarding mental illness and living with mental illness. So a couple days ago, I got this book in the mail. I think it was like $9 on Amazon. I'll have the link down below because honestly, I'm in love with this. I haven't even started coloring in it and I'm stoked about it. I have been so busy with other things that I haven't taken the time to really start delving into this fully and commit to it. I've read a lot of the snippets throughout it and I've looked at a lot of the coloring, the doodles. These are actually hand drawn by Jenny Lawson herself, which I find so impressive. So there's basically, as you go through it, there's quotes, there's drawings, there's little quotes within the drawings, there's lots of swear words. It's lighthearted, it's heavy at the same time. If you've ever read anything by Jenny Lawson, you will love this, but be aware that it is not a sit down and read it kind of a book. This is a book that you pick up and put down over time. So it's a good one to have around the house as somebody who, has moments where I'm I panic and I get really anxious and I don't know how to cope sometimes. So there's a lot of different things that I would reach for in an instance like that. I talk about a lot of them in my anxiety coping mechanisms video, which I have linked up above here. But this is a really unique coping mechanism. I've had this on my coffee table for the last few days, and every time I see it, I get really excited because I know that, yesterday was a hard day for me. I don't know what it was. I was just feeling super depressed. I don't even really know why, to be honest with you. I really don't know why. Just my brain was doing weird things. So I picked this up and I was looking through it. There's just a lot of comfort to be found in this book. It's like a friend writing you encouraging notes that you've compiled into a book. There's a lot of humor in here. Okay, so there's a map right here. I'll actually take a clip of this on my DSLR so you guys can see a better view of this. But basically, this little map she drew has Boxwine Canyon, Twitter Island, Isle of Cats, Sea of Solitude, and then a little section that says, "Here there be dragons." I just love that in a moment of panic, I know that I can just reach for this book and flip to pretty much any page in it, just searching for some kind of encouragement. And something in here is bound to catch my attention and strike a chord with me because Jenny Lawson feels like a friend to me after reading her other two books. I really recommend you start out with either Furiously Happy or Let's Pretend This Never Happened. All the versions of it are great. I read Let's Pretend This Never Happened on my Kindle and then I listened to the audiobook of Furiously Happy, and she recorded all her own audiobooks. So it's actually really genuine and really awesome. Yeah, I just highly recommend this. Some very unique things about this book. It actually has perforated edges on every single page. So at the beginning of the book, she kind of goes into how this book is yours. You can draw on it, you can burn it, you can rip it up, you can frame it, you can do whatever you want with this. This is your book. It's kind of like an adult activity book in a weird way, because basically I could color a page and I could rip it out of the book and put it on my wall. That's pretty cool, because if something like strikes a chord with me in particular and I want it highlighted, you know, in my workspace or something, then I can display this cool drawing that reminds me of the time that I was feeling really down and I found a coping mechanism that worked for me, and things will get better, things always get better. I really just like the whole idea of this book as a form of meditation, as a coping mechanism, as a comedy book, as a fun activity. It's different than I expected. I knew that it was part coloring book. I think that's the most important thing to know before you go ahead and order this book, is that a lot of the book is doodles and coloring. And there's actually like some spaces where you're meant to write your own. Here, look, I'm looking for it right now. Hold on. You're meant to like write something down. There's not very many of those, it's mostly coloring. So let's see, 5 outrageous things you've done, at least one of which is a lie. Write them down here. So it's just pretty funny. And how many pages is this thing? It's 143 pages. So it's quite large, and actually it is kind of a large book, just like in general. Basically, I like it. And if you have anxiety and you're always on the hunt for new coping mechanisms, then I would really recommend this book. If you want to hear somebody else's mental illness story, I would recommend you start by reading one of her other books first. But if what you're looking for is something that will guide you through kind of a meditation or a thought process or moments of panic, then I would reach for this book. This is really awesome. So I doubt she'll ever see this video, but thank you so much, Jenny Lawson, for putting out books that are actually applicable to people's lives. Since I discovered her book, she's been like my favorite anxiety author, and I just love what she writes. If you don't want to spend money on a book right now and you're like skeptical if you'd like her or not, go check out her website. Totally free, just go browse her website. There's a lot of her writing on there, so you can kind of get some little snippets of her writing and figure out if her books are something you would connect with. Also, moving all over the world for the last year has somehow caused me to not own any type of coloring things. Like I don't own any markers, crayons, colored pencils, nothing. I didn't own anything. I own like highlighters and that's it. So I actually went out and bought myself a set of colored pencils. Honestly, I don't know how you would draw in with crayons in this book, because the lines are actually pretty delicate and thin on a lot of these doodles. I went for the colored pencils route, and I'm really excited to get started. I love that this book forced me to go buy something that I already wanted but didn't have like a reason to buy. Basically, like I wanted to get some kind of like coloring situation, because when I was at my friend's house in Arizona, we did a lot of coloring and it was just really soothing. There's something meditative about coloring. I know there's all these coloring books coming out lately, all these adult coloring books. This is nothing like any of them. I love this so much more than any adult coloring book I've ever picked up in my life. I'm just gonna end this now, because clearly I'll just keep talking if I don't consciously make an effort to just end this video. If you're new here, this channel is all about living with anxiety and traveling with anxiety. So welcome to the Fearless fam. I will see you tomorrow for a really fun Travel Talk Tuesday. Be sure to comment below if you've read anything by Jenny Lawson, or if you went ahead and picked up this book. And don't forget to add me on Facebook and Snapchat. A lot of you guys send me messages on Facebook and Snapchat, and they are the two that I definitely check the most. And I love hearing from you guys. So be sure to add me on Facebook to stay up to date on all my new content, and add me on Snapchat so we can be friendsies in real life. We can send each other little snaps back and forth. Like, I actually do that with some of you guys, and I freaking love it. Shout out to Becca. I think Becca was the last one who messaged me. Becca, if you were watching, hi, and thank you so much for snapping with me. I love doing Snapchat with the Fearless fam. So, handle on the screen. Thank you for watching today, guys, and okay, bye.